What's been your biggest takeaway from Justin from when you first got your hands on him to now kind of where you are starting the second day of the weekend?
The biggest takeaway I would say is that this guy is just a workaholic. You know, he comes in early, he's here late, and he's trying to digest everything and download all the information and do things the right way. He's trying to do things that we're asking, and I think he's just he's really put the next foot forward every day, just trying to stack days, and it's been really good.
I know it's early, but just talk about just what he brings as far as leadership and everything to the table as well. Absolutely,
and I think AG touched on this a little bit the other day. Just kind of a quiet confidence about him. You know, a little lead by example. But if you could be in the huddle, there's some command there, and when he's talking, the guys listen. And I think that's part of the best part about it is he doesn't have to be overly vocal or outlandish and over the top with his communication with guys. It's just really an example, lead by example. And when something needs to be said, he'll say it, and they'll listen.
How much have you enjoyed watching Garrett Wilson practice? Because he practices with intensity, but he also is making some pretty close catches out there, too.
Yeah, and Garrett is he's continuing to improve every single day and learn the way that we want to run the routes all the time without taking his creativity away, just him learning when he needs to be in certain places at certain times, because that's where the quarterback expects him to be. But yeah, he's making some catches now. He had one the other day. He had one last week. Clearly an elite athlete, and we're looking forward to him continuing to get a hold and a grasp of this offense and take it to the next level.
How do you blend and marry that part of Garrett where you want a guy, I assume, who's kind of a precision route runner? I think most offensive coordinators feel that way. But then so maybe we'll talk about the quote-unquote superpower is to find a spot in the field and just get open.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an innate ability to do that.
Yeah, he is. We talk about it really in the evaluation process about instinctual players. Garrett is a very instinctual player, and there is a fine line to being overly instinctual, if you will, but being able to get to where he needs to be at the time that he needs to be there.
With your top three running backs, how would you compare and contrast the complementary skill sets they have, and how do you envision that working out in games?
Yeah, I think they're all three going to play. Just as you said, that those top three guys, they're all pretty darn good football players, and they all have a little bit of a different skill set. You can see just by watching them. And so we'll see. We'll see how the game plan goes, but they'll all be involved in one way, shape, or form.
What have you learned about Reese so far in your time with him?
Yeah, he's got a very good skill set again. Same type of comment there. But he's a worker. Like I said the last time we were in here, he's just a worker. He's going to go to work. He works on his craft. He's detailed, and he is an all-around player. He's not, I would say, not pigeonholed into one type of back. He's not an inside runner, not an outside runner. He kind of can do a lot of all of it. And then again, the pass game is huge for us too.
How is the receiver position shaping up beyond Garrett?
Yeah, the receiver room is shaping up pretty good. I think these guys are all coming along as we learn the system, and they're all getting their opportunities to get out there and make plays, whether it's in the team periods or 7-on-7s, and even in the walkthroughs, because we have to look at that, with a close eye as well to see the technique. But the guys are improving every day. They're putting their best foot forward. They're giving great effort and trying to learn the details of everything.
To that point, how would you assess this how Arian Smith has performed just throughout the month you've had him?
Yeah, Arian's done a nice job. Arian has he's come in and I feel like he's taken a hold of what we've asked him to do. He flashes his speed at times, and then he has some of those rookie moments where he's maybe buffering a little bit as he's running the routes, and so maybe his speed doesn't show up occasionally. But as he continues to get comfortable in this thing, he has a skill set to be a player in this league, and we're fired up to have him.
Well, presuming he's healthy for training camp, what does Malachi have to do to make himself a factor in the receiving competition?
Just do what he's asked to do. Ultimately, be out there, be present.
What specifically does he have to? He's missing a lot of time. What does he have to work on to get his game to that level?
That's a great question, really, for him to ask. How do I get myself mentally caught back up because I wasn't able to get the physical reps this spring? And ultimately, that's going to be what it is, because the other guys do. They have a handful of practices ahead of him and those physical reps, so he's going to have to find a way to catch himself up with that stuff.
What have you seen from Joe Tippmann so far?
Joe's been great. He's done a phenomenal job in there. setting the huddle, making the mic points, making the calls, getting the O-line going the right way. That's one thing that we're kind of noticing as we go, is it looks like things are coordinated up front. We're targeted properly. We're going to the right guys, whether it's in the run game or the pass game, and he's done a nice job with that.
Offensively, I know you guys love competition and all positions are with the offensive line, is it maybe a little more important to have those 5 set so that they can all work together? And is there a point in time where you kind of would like to have that group so they can start to really get that chemistry going?
Sure, you'd love to say that you have the 5 right away and you know it, but in reality, you're going to play 10 guys, maybe 8, 9, 10 guys throughout the season, so they're all going to have to learn how to play with each other. But we don't have a specific time frame or a specific date in training camp. I practice 12. We got to have it. That'll make itself clear when it does.
What do you get out of the GoPro on the quarterback's helmet?
It's awesome. I'm just telling you, I can't believe we didn't do this before. It is unbelievable. We can hear him call the play in the huddle. We can hear him at the line of scrimmage, making his check, whatever it needs. You can see his eyes, where he's going. And then you can see him go through the progression. You can see everything from his vantage point. And we also get some nice tidbits of commentary in there, which is pretty fun to hear too.
Did you get that idea from someone, or did you evolve?
Yeah, great question. We did it a couple years ago in Detroit, and Charles London had done it as well previously, and we just kind of started talking about it as we were getting things going here, and we said, let's give it a shot in rookie minicamp and see what it looks like. And then we loved it, and we just said, let's just do it. Everybody's doing it the whole time, and it's been phenomenal for those guys. It gives direct feedback. Shoot, the O-line coach is in there watching the tape with his O-line. You know what I mean? Because you can hear everything. You can hear the calls, and so it's been really beneficial for us.
How goes it to even just sit down and watch with Justin and see where he's looking like live in a moment like that? That's got to be a pretty unique perspective to be able to get for you, right?
Yeah, no, it is. It's really good. Just what's your pre-snap process? You break the huddle. What are you looking at? What are we keying? Are we looking in the right areas? What's the concept? If it's a pass play, am I looking in the right spot? Absolutely. There's all sorts of things to talk about with that.
It's kind of unusual to ask a player, especially like Tyrod, who's been in the league forever. Did you have to do some convincing, or how were those conversations when you tell the quarterback about it?
No, we didn't have to convince them of anything because they look at it and they go, this is a way for me to improve. And that's what they're all here to do, is they're all here to find a way to get better and help contribute to the team and get us some more wins on the board. So there was no convincing needed there.
There's been a lot of discussion about reads and progressions and how to improve that, even specifically, I know Justin wants to improve a lot of things, but like the progressions and the reads and making that an improved aspect of Justin's game. Mm-hmm. Having that on the helmet, does that help you more now than maybe years where you didn't have it? Like, is this an even better teaching tool to improve that aspect of his game?
Yeah, it sure could. It sure could. I mean, you ultimately watch all of the tape, and I think with the familiarity for him with the offense and the concepts and the timing of those plays and where he really needs to be when, I think just the reps is going to be the best part for that, and just understanding those things. But yeah, I think it's an advantage for us for sure.
Is Membu having some of those rookie buffering moments as well? How would you assess his progress so far?
Yeah, I think everybody, and not just the rookies, right? Not just the rookies here. Like everybody, as we're getting to learn this system, there's going to be some thinking going on as we get used to the terminology and how we want to do things. And I've got to know the play, and then I've got to know the technique the coach wants. Well, what's the defense? There's a lot of different variables that go on. So I think everybody has a little bit of that to some degree. I don't want to just call out the rookies on some of that stuff,
What jumps out to you about him?
What jumps out to me about Membu?
Yeah.
He loves football. He loves football. And that's what you want. We want a team with a bunch of guys that love football, and that's been glaring for me with that player.
How was Alan last one here? Getting into everything and picking up everything?
Alan has done a remarkable job really trying to learn the system, right? He'd been in a system for a long time, and this is maybe the first one that's been a little different for him, but he's been great in meetings. He's asking questions. He's talking to me on the field. What do you think about this? And so Alan's been really good. It's been really nice to have him.